taxi! Crazy taxi? Okay, let's see.
Downtown Bikini Bottom. Once a bustling metropolis. Now a debris-covered crater.
Oh, we got extremely hot sauce.
SpongeBob,
Spread it around.
The robots are destroying downtown Bikini Bottom. We have to evacuate.
I mean, there's not that many people out in the streets, so
All right, but it's gonna take a while to get all this dust.
Not vacuum, evacuate. We have to get everyone to safety.
I mean, that is a good thing to
Can we
do,
just load
so.
them up in the boats?
I don't see any boats overall, so
That won't do any good.
why not?
Why not?
Because the robots have taken all the steering wheels.
I mean, like, that seems kind of weird. It's like, couldn't they have just, taken out the engine parts? The wheels seem like the least thing you need to take out in order for a car to not work. But I get it, steering wheels, it makes sense.
Couldn't we just drive in a straight line?
No.
No, there are too many turns.
Those fiends, they thought of everything. Never fear, Mrs. Puff. I'll get those steering wheels back.
Alive or dead?
SpongeBob, if you're involved, I always fear. But I tell you what, if you can pull this off, I'll give you a golden spatula.
Thanks.
How about a driver's license instead?
Nice try.
Yeah, nice try, SpongeBob. That's actually pretty good. Like, good on him for trying to ask for that.
Number one in the Bikini Bottom scavenger hunt, 3 years running.
I just really wanted to showcase that off because it's like, I actually discovered that more recently. I was like, huh, I could just get that real quick. And I was like, huh, I could get it real quick, and that's pretty cool.
Just my size.
Okay, be careful of these guys. These dog-like creatures, or seemingly dog-like creatures, will immediately attack you if you go near them, and they will do this weird bad breath burping thing, which can harm you, so be very careful.
Coming at ya.
Oh, yes! Double hit! I was kind of hoping for that. Because, like, at certain angles, you can actually get a double hit on that. Ow. Well, at least that took out the robot, too. There we go. Now I just need this guy to hit this one.
I feel like a new sponge.
Come on. Okay, there we go.
Sometimes pushing a simple button is the most satisfying. Push, 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 push.
Okay, I gotta move quickly, or at least out of the way of this thing. I'm not sure why the robots set out a cannon that just shoots at people, but I will say I think it's kind of a visual funny pun that they did this, and it's kind of funny as a joke. Real quick to state, they're shooting sinks at me. So it's basically literally shooting everything in the kitchen sink at me. I think that's just a funny visual gag. It's like, oh, it's a cannon that's firing sinks at you for some reason. And it's like, if you know the phrase, like, throwing everything in the kitchen sink, that's basically it. And that's kind of funny to me. At least as, like, an idea, it's like, oh, that's actually kind of funny. It's like, oh, the kitchen sink. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, also, I do like this particular spatula just because it's like, well, it teaches the players that, oh, maybe if you go climbing on stuff that may seem kind of weird, you could possibly, get some extra prizes and stuff. I don't know, I just kind of find that interesting that this doesn't look directly like something you can climb up, at least to a degree. It's like, when I slide off of this statue, basically, well, technically you would in certain parts, but if you try your hardest, like, either, jumping at certain points, or, hey, if you think, oh, jump right here and then onto here, you can get your reward. So that's pretty cool that they did that. Again, I know it's like, oh, you're praising a game that's basically like 100 years old or something. But, I'm just giving it respects because, again, it's like a very good licensing game back when, like, licensing games were either hit or miss. Like, there wasn't in between where they could be good. They could be, like, somewhat good or somewhat bad. It's like, nowadays, we don't have as many licensing games as we did back then. So it's like, most of them are either good or they're bad. But at least they weren't, like, a surplus amount of them, so... and you know what, I'm kind of glad we don't have as many, like, licensing games as we used to, and they focus more on the actual, like, game itself, because licensing games nowadays know that players won't just buy their schlock without it being somewhat good enough to play. It's like, this thing needs to be good, otherwise, you're not going to sell much or have people buy it if it's terrible. So, keep that in mind. I do like how SpongeBob's physics are a little bit wonky here, and it always surprises me. It's like, does that really need to be a thing where it needs to be bounced off of? Actually, the arrow on the ground is something I never thought would have been like a physical thing that SpongeBob can interact with. Oh, these things. The G-Love. And yes, I'm being serious. That's what they're called. G-Love, or Glove, as I'll just call them. Yeah? Oh, Jesus. Careful there, Gary. Careful there, Gary. You almost crushed the guy. But good, Gary. Good job. Yeah, G-Love, the best way to deal with them is to bubble bounce him from above. So basically, slamming him. Patrick can also deal with him, although only one other character is unable to deal with him to a degree. So keep that in mind. You need to deal with those guys through physical attacks from above. Unfortunately, the next character we play as doesn't have an ability to do that, but she can take them out. It's just, you know, not in the specific way it told us to. You'll see what I mean in a bit. He's like, hey, spoiler alert, Sandy's playable, even though we just read that a few seconds ago, so... So, yeah, Sandy's playable, and she can't do a Grand Slam, so just keep that in mind. It's not that she's bad and all that. Actually, I like playing as Sandy the most in this game. Which is why I said, like, I really wish they could have done a whole mode where it's like, oh yeah, you can play as Sandy, basically. That would have been pretty cool to see. But I understand it's like, maybe they didn't want to do that for the rehydrated thing, I don't know. I don't know, it seems kind of like something like, I mean, we could have done it, but at the same time, that would have been more work than what we would have done at the time. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Like I will say, I kind of hope that with how, if, you know, the rehydrated trilogy, I keep on saying that. If the rehydrated game does well enough, I think it's doing okay. But if it does really well, I'm hoping it actually, like, gets a sequel of sorts and they can improve on the game, because, like, this whole SpongeBob, like, game thing is actually pretty good. Hopefully they can actually make it very good, honestly, at some point. Or maybe, you know, expand on it, honestly. It'd be pretty cool, honestly. Like, at least I think so. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me that thinks that type of idea would be pretty awesome. I don't know. I love that the reference here is basically, oh, the very hot sauce that SpongeBob was forced or threatened by Sandy to almost consume. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, hold up. I always found SpongeBob as a ball kind of cursed, because it's like, oh man, the way he looks at me, like, I know it's like googly eyes, but still. This always creeped me out as a kid anytime I saw this. So like, ugh. By the way, just to say, like, I guess I could talk about that. My history with this game is that I used to actually rent the PS2 version of this game. Originally, you know, just, you know, to play. And I liked playing it. But I wasn't really, you know, I didn't really get too far in it. I almost got to the last level. Or at least almost got to the last level. But unfortunately had to return the game before that anyway. So that's kind of a shame that I couldn't finish the original Battle for Bikini Bottom without some assistance, so... Or at least until more recently. So keep that in mind. But the one SpongeBob game I did have that I mentioned before was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. I owned that one, and had a blast with it. I really liked it a lot. But I understand it's like, like that game is... That game might never get a remaster or HD port because it's based on the movie, which is a little bit harder to get rights for and stuff like that. And also, I doubt they would add stuff like, you know, more cutscenes, more screen stuff like that. It'd be kind of hard to do. But if they ever did do like a SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, the movie, oh no, remaster, but with the movie game, that'd be pretty cool, honestly. All I really ask is that they add in a few like extra, like more cutscenes, basically, in-game cutscenes, and maybe leave certain restrictive parts out of the game, because I will say the one issue with that game is that you need to play certain levels, certain stuff and levels in order to get extra tokens, which you need in order to unlock levels, which is or abilities, and it's kind of dumb to a degree. At least for certain things, especially for the more later stuff. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of them, so... If we could make the cost for some of these stuff less so, that'd be pretty cool to see. Okay, real quick. Shut your pie hole. Shut your pothole. Or your porthole, I guess, I don't know. I tried to be clever there, but I was stumbling. Okay, let's see. Okay, this way. There we go. Hey, Bobo Bunny.
This door is locked from the inside. Who would do such a thing?
The homeowners? Like, seriously, why wouldn't you lock your door?
You'll have to open this door from the inside.
Okay, thanks, Bubble Buddy, for that insightful commentary. First, gotcha! I love doing that whole lineup thing for the robots and getting a few of them in, like, the crossfire. Although the physics of them can be a little bit wonky as far as I can tell. It's like, oh, sometimes they can hit each other, sometimes they might not. I don't know, it seems kind of random to me. Here we go. Also, I know it kind of doesn't make sense that those things can somehow... Aw, dang it. Somehow, like, be able to destroy all the boxes from below since they're up top, or destroy all the boxes above them, even though they're below and all that. In all honesty, I don't mind it, because it's kind of cool to just see that type of explosion happen anyway, so... I don't mind it, just to say, because I really don't care. Okay, oh. Hold up. Okay, here we go. Here's a nice sock. Okay, there's another one for Patrick, at least. SpongeBob! Oh, I hit the rim! I got it! Okay, hold up. Gotcha! Okay, good. I kind of wanted to time that to get an extra combo, but whatever. Alright, now let's deal with these things. See, there's the bad breath I was talking about. You could say their bark is worse than their bite. Ah! Okay, yeah, I deserve that. Oh, sorry about that, dude. I didn't mean to hit you with them. I hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker. Sorry about that, man. I know it's like he's unblinking and staring at me, so it kind of doesn't matter, but still. It's always a good idea to apologize for stuff like that. Oh man, I kind of hope I can do that. Anyway. Let's talk with Gary for just a second. Hold up. Quick. Well, at least we got that place sorted out. Okay, quickly open this, and then talk with Gary.
Hi, Gary. Meow. Yes, thanks for noticing. I have been working out. Meow.
Oh, I think he said like, oh, you look pretty tired, or you seem you've done some extraneous stuff.
Not done? Doesn't that mean meow? Oh, that's the entrance to the rooftops, which leads to the lighthouse?
Yeah.
Aha! There's another golden spatula. I could really use that. Meow.
Ah, here we go. Now we can access Sandy now.
What do you help me. I can get through this. Meow, meow. Oh, that gap looks big. Okay, I'm definitely not making that jump. How is anyone going to get across there? Uh-oh, more robots. Holy Dutchman's ghost! That gap looks impossible! And impassable!
Someone get Tom Cruise.
Okay, I'll go get Sandy to help me out.
You better.
Get Sandy. Head to Smokestack's door. Check.
Smokestack. Okay, I was thinking like, is that actually a name of the place specifically, or is it just in the building name? I don't know.